Man, I was watching a video earlier, and it was an interview with an athlete. It was the athlete was kind of like interviewing a kid, and the athlete, I don't remember who it was. I'm not really big into sports, so forgive me. And this is like current. This is a current interview. I think it was a basketball player, and the athlete asks the kid, who's probably like 8 or 9. And he's like, "What are your favorite cartoons?" And the kid's like, the athlete's like, "What cartoons you watched? What's your favorite cartoon?" And the kid's like, "Huh? I watch YouTube or like TikToks." And he's like, "What's a cartoon?" And the athlete literally was like, "Huh? What?" And I had that same reaction. It got me thinking, dude, literally, I was like, do kids these days growing up even know like what a cartoon is? Like, is Cartoon Network still around? And it just got me thinking, dude, like literally how great of like a childhood like I got to have. Like, I feel like my generation, I'm 24 years old for reference. Oh, that was sick. Let me do that again. I'm 24 years old, and I feel like my generation is the last generation that got to have like, not quote unquote a good childhood. Right? That's not what I'm trying to say, but just like life without the internet, you know? And like how like intentional and patient we were, you know? Like I said, do kids even today know what like cartoons are? Like I don't know what kids do for fun other than probably like watch YouTube, watch TikTok. Like, I was thinking back to like, you know, being in like middle school, and like the internet was around. No, I'm not that old, you know, like iPod Touch and stuff. But like, I remember having to wait every Saturday morning to wake up at 6 a.m. and watch the newest cartoon. You know, could not wait to catch the newest episode of my favorite anime, my favorite TV show, you know? And yeah, can kids watch a show without having to wait? You know, like having to stream it on Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus or whatever it is now, right? They don't know the pain of when you want to go over to a friend's house and you have a sleepover and you got to bring controllers, or you have to share the controller. You can't all just play on your, you know, your own mobile device or handheld. You know, like we had the Game Boy and like the DS, you know, and you all had to be together to play, you know, on the same Wi-Fi network, or, you know, do split screen multiplayer, right? Do kids even know what that is? Do kids even do that? Do you know, kids even play outside? Like, I feel so old saying that, but I'm like, genuinely, you know. It just breaks my heart, and it makes me feel so like sad. I'm like, dang, the times have changed drastically, and I know that's probably like saying like, oh, like of course times are gonna change drastically in 20 years. Think about how much technology advanced from like 1985 to 2005. Is 2026. Think about how much has changed and how much technology is advanced from 2026 to 2006. It doesn't feel like a lot, but when you look at a 20-year-old car and you imagine a 20-year-old car, you probably picture something that was like 10 years ago, not, you know, 20, right? Just in your head for reference, you know? Or you're thinking of something that was probably like 50 years ago. In reality, it was only 20, you know? But yeah, man, I had it good. Better than most. Or, you know, your favorite TV shows were the ones that probably had like some sort of like toy to go with it, and you would try to find, you know, like whatever it was at the store. This was before like scalpers were a thing. Right? Those were the coolest shows to watch, you know, so you could like follow along and like play with it, like whatever it was, you know. Make you feel like the show like was actually real. like I remember like being really big into Pokemon, you know, collecting the Pokemon cards. And when I got into it, like as a kid, man, it was like 10 years old, like 10 years old, which isn't that old, you know, for like a series or something like that, especially considering how long it's been around, you know. But I was like, if you liked Pokemon, you either watched the show, collected the cards, or played the games, and there weren't that many games out, you know. It's either on like, you know, Nintendo, like Game Boy, DS, or whatever, right? And there were no guides, you know, like even I remember when Minecraft first came out and you wanted to learn how to do something, man, you would go to the bookstore, buy like the official handheld, or like buy all these books, or, you know, like actually read the labels on the back of the games, you know. I feel so old saying that, dude. But like it's true. You know, you couldn't just look up a tutorial. You couldn't just go on YouTube and watch a breakdown of all the newest, latest, and greatest things, or all the news, or a how-to, right? And now it seems like it's everywhere, you know? I remember things like that, just like being like, oh wow, in 20 years this is gonna be real. I'm gonna have like a real life experience. And like they're building like a Pokemon themed like Kanto region, or like theme park in Japan or something like that. I think it opened in February this year, actually. Like, yeah, dreams come true 20 years later, you know? That's crazy. But I was like, dang, yeah. It just got me thinking. I'm not trying to start a debate. Just a question, just curiosity. I'm curiously saying, I'm curiously saying, did the internet ruin being a kid? You know, there's probably some like harmful things the internet can expose you to, right? But I'm talking purely as like having a fun, lasting childhood with a relationship with the internet. Did it ruin it? Did it make it worse? Did it make it better or worse? You know, for all the things a kid would do, right? Now they got so many games at their fingertips. You know, do they even make DVDs of like your favorite shows? Do kids even have a favorite television show? There was no streaming it. If you wanted to watch the episode again, you either had to wait until the season finished and they did a rerun, maybe have like a DVR that could record it, or you bought the box set of like DVDs. And then that was a flex in itself. Do kids go to the movies anymore? Like I don't watch TV. Like I'll watch some shows like on a streaming service on like, you know, my phone or my iPad or something every now and then. But I don't see the commercials anymore, man. I used to love seeing commercials as a kid. It was so exciting. It was really cool. For literally anything, be like a car commercial, like I don't know, toy commercial, like literally like an insurance commercial. Like they were so creative and fun. Do they even do that anymore, or is it all AI? You know what I'm saying? Like it's so crazy. And like the references at school, man, if you pulled out a new reference and you got it, man, you really knew ball, because like again, there was only limited places to gather this, you know. But now everything bounces around on the internet, and nothing's like as niche, or everyone's sense of humor is arguably the same because they're all consuming the same, you know, content or whatever. Do kids even read books, or do they just wait for the movie to come out? Do kids even go to the movies anymore? I think it's been well over a year since I've been to the movies. You know, and I think partially it's because like I'm not really seeing like ads or previews for any like movies. You know, like usually the only time I see like a preview is on YouTube. And I don't know. It's just not the same, you know. The late 90s, early 2000s movies, that was peak. That was when, not peak, but that was when movies stopped like feeling like having that magic to them, you know. Don't get me wrong, there are some tremendous films that have come out since then, but a lot of them kind of feel the same. You know, it's like, oh, it reminds me of this movie, or oh, like this movie was really good, it reminds me of that, or oh, it was inspired by this movie. Like, you know what I'm saying? In the 90s, 2000s is when that kind of all, you know, the uniqueness stopped, you know. I think about like all those like big time actors that were really popular, you know, during the 90s and stuff like that, or the early 2000s. Kind of don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm kind of looking for like a really good spot to like mine a large chunk of area. Gotta restock my cobblestone. But yeah, let me know. Do you think like if you could go back in time to being a kid and grow up without like mainstream media, like the internet, like social media, you know, and just stick to like every like television, and you know, like hanging out with friends in person, you know, like everything felt so much more raw and real, you know, 20 years ago. Like, what do kids do nowadays? I don't know. Oop. Like, what age do kids get phones now? I didn't get a cell phone until I was a teenager, and at that point it was like my first phone was the iPhone 4. So it sounds super, you know, now that the iPhone 17 is out, like, oh man, that was a long time ago. But you know, it was a smartphone, pretty advanced still, you know. And now like kids have like last year when I was coaching track and field, you know, all the kids had Apple Watches. You know, they'd be like, hey Siri, play this song. And I'm like, dude, if you want to listen to music, man, do you know how hard it was to like figure out what like new song was out? Or like, yeah, we actually, you know, would listen to the radio to find out new music, you know. Even when I was like 16, you know, like, yeah, like there's, you know, Spotify and stuff like that. I would work nights because I obviously was in high school, and I would turn on this one late night radio station. It was like kind of like, not like a talk show, but like the radio host would like come on and like talk and like give inspirational messages or whatever. And yeah, dude, it was super sweet. And I was like, yeah, this radio host DJ is like turning me on to some new music. Like, I'm gonna check it out, you know, or I'm gonna tune into this radio that plays that kind of music, you know. Like, yeah. Nowadays, my car, I don't even think my car has a radio. No, it does. It does. Have I used it before? Nope. My car doesn't even have a CD player in it. Can you imagine that? Modern cars aren't being produced with CD players. It's crazy to me. They subbed out the CD player for a wireless charger for your phone. Like, that's just crazy. Do I use my wireless charger? Oh, absolutely. It's pretty clutch, not gonna lie. Would I trade it for a CD player? Probably not, because I have my phone now, but like that feeling is gone, you know. Just, oh, everything's in my pocket. Everything's on my phone. You know. I see those videos of people how like they like simplify and diversify their life into different things to make them feel more just connected with life. They have a simple phone for like making phone calls, no apps. They carry a handheld video game for playing games like a Game Boy. You know, they use an analog watch. They have a notebook and a journal and stuff. They have an MP3 player dedicated for only listening to music, you know. Like, that's cool. I thought about that, but I was like, with the amount of, like I talked about yesterday, like, work is my purpose. I just hit my microphone so hard. I am so sorry. I can't get away from my smartphone because the amount I need to use it, the different apps I need to be on, you know. It sucks, but like when have my 2 days off, I'm really not on my phone. I'm trying to do everything to get away from my phone, you know. I'm not gonna lie. And I've thought about getting rid of social media. I miss like the feeling of like Instagram used to be, so you could just stay connected with other people and see what they're up to. Now it's like a career for people, or people are making money off of it doing like silly things, and that's what I use social media for, usually for joy or, you know, entertainment, right? But it just feels different. The archway is looking pretty good. I think come maybe tomorrow we can kind of begin progress on it. That'd be cool. Got a beautiful night here. I know this episode wasn't really this day wasn't really productive, but that's okay, man. Had a long day, a long night yesterday, and I'm amazed at how relaxed I am today compared to the week I've had, you know. So that's awesome. Yeah, and these 20 minutes really help. 20 minutes a day, man. That's all you need to just kind of reset yourself, reset your outlook, recharge yourself, and you're ready to go out and do it again tomorrow. One of these has to be that baby turtle that hatched. Oh, the mother lode. Look at all these. Oh, no, these are cod. I thought they were all salmon. The cod are so hard to hit. Why are they making this sound? This is making me hungry listening to this. Like, just listen to this sizzle. Oh, man. But yeah, like, part of me just I miss being a kid. Like, maybe I get nostalgic so many times, so much, so much, and it could be unhealthy. Say whatever you want, I don't care. But it's like, dang, like, I miss, like, the simplicity of, like, not being a kid, just the technology available when I was a kid, the things kids used to do, you know, that no one does anymore. Like, I follow this one, like, 90s, early 2000s nostalgia page on Instagram, and every time they post, man, I'm like, oh, I remember that. Or it's unlocking, like, things that, like, I didn't even really remember existed or knew existed, or I didn't know what they were called, and no one else did either, but, like, we all knew what they were, you know? Like, that's cool, and, you know, the way you learned about, like, new things or new trends was seeing someone at school, or learning about it from someone at school. You know, everything felt more, I don't know, I guess hidden and treasured. But yeah, that's enough talking. That's enough rambling for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're having a great day. Let me know if you feel the same way. But, oh, dude, a rainbow. Double rainbow. And, yeah, I will see you tomorrow.